Welcome to Ask Dr. Tom. We connect with Dr. Tom to talk about all things health and wellness, cancer treatment, etc. This is Ask Dr. Tom with Dr. Thomas Incledon. He's the founder and CEO of Causenta Wellness and the Causenta Cancer Treatment Center in Scottsdale, Arizona. From working with NFL, MLB, MMA, world-class athletes, and even the White House, Dr. Tom's reputation of personalized medicine and cutting-edge technologies have put him on the map for caring for some of the most powerful people in the world, making him one of the most sought-after healthcare professionals of our time. As far as diet goes, in the Rainbow Diet download, people can go and get that at causenta.com, causenta.com, and just do a search on the website there for the Rainbow Diet Guide. It's totally free, and that's where people can read about. You can kind of just print it out and take it with you and you shop using that thing. It's pretty great, and especially when you're talking about berries and things like that, it maps out what those where those things are on the spectrum. I don't know that there's a better guide out there for anybody, is there?
No, and it's free. I mean, I watch people talk about all these fad diets. I'm like, you're spending money on stuff that's already proven not to be sustainable over time. We did an analysis years ago. We took every diet book that people spent billions of dollars on all these different weight loss strategies, and we compared it to the overweight and obesity rates in the United States. And we found if you add up all these books, it had zero impact. And the stuff that actually did have impact, no one was doing. So it just shows you that sometimes people just can't determine what's valuable and what's not valuable.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to take you 2 minutes to grab it. You go to causenta.com, causenta.com. You put in your email address, you grab it, and it's a great resource to use. When you get shopping, especially if you go there hungry or you're not sure what to find, what you're looking for, it's easy to fall in the same habits of buying the same crap, and that will give you a really good basis for at least starting to make those changes. Sleep is a tough one. I hear what you're saying about trying to get things, get out of your own head and get out, get your mind clear. But I think people have a tough time with that. I see how exercise could help with that. But are there any other techniques that you would recommend that are maybe easier for everyday people, like little things that maybe they hadn't considered that would help their sleep?
Yeah. So first, there's this realization now that there are mechanoreceptors in skeletal muscle that communicate with our brain to help regulate our sleep cycle. So one thing would be to, use your muscle earlier in the day because it sets sort of like it's like a circadian rhythm modifier that gets things back on track so that now, when the sun goes down, now you're starting to get gradually more tired and you could go to sleep at a normal time. So that's really critical because what I see sometimes is people just don't move enough and then they're not leveraging what we know about movement for sleep. Outside of that, the other thing that there might be triggers that people have. And so one trigger would be, let's say someone likes to read from the computer or by a very bright light close to bedtime. It may disrupt their sleep cycle a little bit. So it's kind of like getting the brain wired up. And now they're laying in bed, 10 minutes later, 20 minutes later, like, man, I'm just not ready. So they toss and turn or it takes them longer. So you can almost think of it as, let's say, maybe creating what's called, I would just call it a sleep preparation phase. So, gradually avoid these triggers that may keep me awake later. And as people implement those types of lifestyle adjustments, they should find that they're able to sleep a little bit easier and not require any meds or supplements to go to sleep.
We're talking with Dr. Tom. This is the show where we ask Dr. Tom questions about things ranging from cancer treatment to men's health to diet. And of course, we started by talking about the coronavirus just because that's top of mind lately. Dr. Tom, as we think about sleep habits and sleep patterns, I also just saw another, I don't know if it was on online or whatever, but I saw a video where somebody was saying how important it is to have the room that you're sleeping in be cooler and be dark. Some of us maybe don't have that set up. How important do you think that the temperature in there and the lighting that comes in is for getting good sleep?
So, the temperature should be comfortable. if you're someone that runs hot, you're going to definitely need a cooler. If you're someone that runs cold, then you might need a little bit warmer just so that you're comfortable enough to go to sleep. But light is definitely a big thing. Even simple things like a slit between two curtains, and there's like that, it always seems funny to me that, how like you go to a hotel and the curtains come together and there's that little bit of light that comes right through the center of the room or the slit between the curtains. And it's positioned in a way, no matter where you lay on the bed, the light hits your eyes. So it's one of those things, if you can block out the light, then that makes it a lot easier to drift off and stay asleep.
Yeah, that's really a problem. At some of those hotels, are really great where they have the drapes that just overlap, and it's like, especially in like Las Vegas and other places where it's very sunny. But then you have these light creeping in at some place, and for some of you light sleepers out there, I know that it can really be tough. What I've noticed, being married for a long time, that there's definitely something going on. You used to see those TV shows where on TV they would have separate beds, and it would be like twin beds, and then I leave it to Beaver or whatever, and it'd be like, oh yeah, the parents sleep in separate beds. And I think they did that back then for wholesome purposes. But now as I get older, I'm wondering, it seems like a lot of couples end up sleeping apart because one moves too much, or one snores or makes noise or whatever. It seems like that could be a big deal, and maybe if you need to, you should probably sleep someplace different because that's more important. What do you think?
Well, I guess it's important to figure out a strategy that works for the relationship. And so, for, let's say, a younger couple that's looking to establish, a connection, that's a different strategy than, let's say, an older couple that's been together 30 or 40 years.
Yeah.
They probably don't care where they're sleeping,
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things that what you want to, from an intimacy perspective, there's a lot of importance to physical contact and physical touch. And for many people, that occurs at night. It's you holding each other and things like that. So that's something that has a lot of value. But I think sometimes as we get so time challenged, kind of gets lost in a shuffle a little bit. And so on the one hand, if you have typically it's a male partner that snores and then the other partner can't sleep because someone's making too much noise, that's something that could be addressed maybe with a CPAP or maybe a mouthpiece or some other device, so that person can sleep, get better quality to sleep without having any breathing dysfunction, and then their partner could get better quality sleep because there's not as much noise. So those would be some solutions there, and then maybe they're able to still stay in the same room. I've seen guys talk about like playing white noise and different sounds to kind of drown out, snoring and stuff like that. My thinking is I'm not sure how good the white noise is for brain function long term. So I would rather see people like if, let's just say there's a noise that's interfering with them, maybe they could play sounds of nature like, rainfall in a rainforest or water moving down a stream, things like that. There's certain natural harmonics, certain frequencies from nature that they have a very therapeutic effect on relaxing us, helping us sleep, and just kind of balancing out our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous tone. And, you could play that stuff every night and it doesn't like lose impact over time. So I would maybe say look at some of those strategies because you could download some of this stuff free. And then it could be playing, over speakers somewhere that are far enough where you don't get any impact from the, electrical signal.
Causenta.
But thanks. But close enough that you can get the benefits from the sound and stuff to relax you.
So I'm asked all the time by patients, what's the difference between personalized medicine and traditional medicine? And in traditional medicine, there's a singular approach. So you have cancer A, and for cancer A, here is the standard of care treatment. And after you go through the standard of care treatment and it doesn't work, typically there's not a plan B. There's not another option. So then patients are told, hey, there's nothing else that can be done. And so then they're convinced that, hey, there's no hope and we can't do anything else. Now I want to contrast that in a personalized approach that we have at Causenta. We're going to measure all kinds of details within your body. And we're going to find lots of areas that we can actually improve your health. And then indirectly, by improving those areas, we're going to help you do a better job at fighting cancer. So where someone else would say, hey, there's nothing that could be done, we're going to say, hey, there's lots of opportunity here to improve your health and make sure that you have a better quality of life so that you're able to function and live life under your own terms and not just waste away in a bed in hospice somewhere and watch everything go by you as time passes on. So if you or a loved one has been diagnosed with cancer and you're looking to get help, I strongly encourage you to go to causenta.com and fill out the form at the bottom of the page and find out for yourself how we can help you.